Hey guys, welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. We are starting out in the farm kitchen today. I've got a couple loaves of sourdough bread that I'm going to start, so let's get into it. I fed my sourdough starter this morning, and squeak, she has doubled in size. Our old kitchen scale kicked the bucket finally, so we have a new one. Grams of active starter, 475 grams of flour, 25 grams of oil, and 300 grams of water, and 10 grams of salt. And repeat. Okay. Now I need to feed my sourdough starter. I kind of have a standing rule with my starter that if she is less than 100 grams, then I just go ahead and double her. I don't cut her in half. So at 97, I am going to just go ahead and feed her. I'm not going to cut her in half. Forgot to add half wheat flour first. So we'll go ahead and add some in now. Now we'll go to 97. I only do roughly half wheat flour. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm a big believer of sourdough is wild and free yeast, and so therefore it's a wild and free kind of old nomadic bread, artesian bread, and it does not need to be perfect. So I try to promote on this channel that it is okay to not be perfect with your sourdough. So she weighed 97 grams. I gave her 97 grams of flour, and now I'm giving her, turned out to be 98 grams of water. Made a total mess. That's okay. There she is. Put a rubber band on her so that I know when she has doubled in size, and set her back on the counter in her happy place until she's ready to bake with again. Hey y'all, it is the next day, and ironically I need to bake those loaves of bread tonight if we get to it, but I am headed out to do evening chores, so I thought that I would just pick right back up where I left off yesterday evening. Yesterday evening I just logged off from everything, and it was rainy and gloomy and gross outside, and I just didn't feel like doing much of anything. So I just stretched and folded that bread and hung out on the couch with the pups and didn't do anything. For those of you who don't know, we do try to home cook for our dogs, and that was egg and basically turnip and turnip green dog food with a little bit of rice in it. Moving on to the horses. I do have a full video out of everything that I feed the horses. I put a video up being very, very explanatory because I was hoping that it would help somebody out who also has Cushing's, diabetic. So in our barn we have Cushing's, we have diabetes, we have severe osteoarthritis, we have some hormonal mare things that we deal with, some sensitive tummy things that we deal with. So we do have normal horses too, but we also have two 31-year-olds and a 27-year-old. So we have old senior horses. So I did go into depth on a video. You can go back and find that if you want to know in depth, but I'm going to get the ponies dinners and two old ladies breakfasts ready. I'm going to flip you around and I'm going to disperse the feeds for the horses. And with the emphasis of letting you guys know, I know my stalls aren't clean. I'm aware. I need to clean them. And I will. The horses are out. And it's not at the very top of my list at the moment, but it is on my list to do today. So nobody in my DMs tell me I got horse pucky in my stalls. I know. Okay, now that hay is distributed as well as grains for when the horses come in this evening, we can move on to the next chore, which is chicken chores. We have had so much rain. It is so muddy and gross. Thankful I can pasture graze them. Hello, teenagers. How are we? Maggie, don't touch that. Boy, some serious chicken drama going on here. What's going on, you guys? Okay, Bart, I know you got it. Now I need to move on to my egg rotation, and that means I have a lot of eggs that I need to clean and get packaged up and ready for the farm stand. The eggs from the farm stand will go to the dog fridge, which are that's the fridge inside the garage, and therefore extra eggs in case the farm stand sells out. And it's also for the raw eggs for the dogs and their breakfast every morning. And then the eggs in the fridge from last week will go to the house, and I will turn them into dog food and hard-boiled eggs for me and my consumption. So it's kind of like this great big rotation. But I did want to make sure that I put in here a couple of things. One, I want to put in a update on the birdhouse at the groom shop. We have yet another nest, and this mama has laid 5 eggs, and so I've got a little clip of her eggs this morning, and then I also have a really good photo to drop in here for you. And as well, I want to give Mr. Wonderful a update on the figs, and how all of the figs that Mr. Wonderful bought me are doing. Oh my goodness, it looks like we have 5 new bluebird eggs in the nest. So here's Miss Figgy. She's loaded. Give you an idea of how big they are. Pretty stinking big. And then we have, this is the first one. I don't see a ton of fruit coming on this one, but we do have quite a few coming, like here. And there's some very small ones coming here. So we do have some figs coming, but all of the plants are doing very well. And these are Little Miss Figgies. They are designed to be patio. They're designed to be in containers. They're designed for container gardening. And they are a dwarf fig. There is the sticker for her. And they're wonderful. Mr. Wonderful bought me one of these last year, which is the first one that I showed you, and I fell in love with her. The figs are delicious, and so he bought me 5 more this year. So now we have a total of 6, which is amazing. Pretty cool. On to eggs. So I have these 2 buckets that I need to get cleaned up, as well as that whole basket full of eggs that I need to get washed and packaged. But since we are going to be in the kitchen washing eggs and doing kitchen things, I'm gonna go ahead and get my hands washed really good and get my Dutch oven into the oven and get it preheated to 500 so that we can start baking those loaves off. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit sidetracked here by bread. I have a loaf of porter wheat that needs to get shaped and put into a Benetton, and I also need to start a chocolate sourdough discard loaf as well in the KitchenAid. So since we're in here, might as well do it. These are all things that I needed to get started and done today. So I'm gonna get a little distracted before we get to eggs on bread, but my hands are clean, and so I might as well do it while the time is good. So this is a Benetton basket. This is what sourdough bread is oftentimes proofed in. I proof mine in the fridge overnight or during the day, usually a 8 to 16 hour period. This is just brown rice flour, and I put a little bit in my Benetton every time I use it, and I just pat it around the same way that you would a loaf pan before you put a loaf of bread in it. Okay. I made up and stretched and folded this batch of bread this morning. looks like. She's got the jiggle, jiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And this is a wheat loaf, so I'll use wheat flour on my countertop. Get her started here and see how she flops. Ah, she flopped pretty good. Oh, she's flexible. It's super sticky. In she goes. I'm going to cover her up with one of these, I hope, and put her in the fridge to proof overnight. Here is a loaf of bread that we actually made at the beginning of this video, but it was yesterday afternoon, and it has since been in the fridge after it went through its stretches and folds yesterday afternoon. Went into the fridge and it proofed all day today while I was at work. So now we've taken it out, I have scored it, and it's going to go in and bake. Just flattening out the paper around it so that it doesn't turn my loaf into a flower, because it will. The loaf will shape around the parchment paper. Okay, put it in. I'm going to decrease the heat on my oven to 475. 500 is just too hot. In my new oven. I used to bake it in my electric oven. I used to bake at 500, but it's just too hot for my gas range. So we go 475 for 20 minutes. No, we go 475 for 15 minutes and then drop it down to 450 for 15 minutes. Sorry about that. Back over to the chocolate world. We're going to need our chocolate sourdough discard. This is the recipe here that I'm making. Ooh, 112. That was close. $250 grams of water. $500 grams of flour. 30 grams of cocoa powder. Lock it, turn it on, about 30 seconds. Just like that. Should just be a shaggy dough. Here is my stack of eggs that need to be processed today. It's not bad. And that one's not even full. I have my crocky pot here. I'm gonna go get a liner, because trust me, cooking eggs in a crock pot, I do not recommend doing it without a liner. Our alarm just went off for our bread, so we're going to reduce the temperature to 450. And then take the lid off. The noise that you're hearing is the dishwasher. I'm sorry about that, but a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, and I ain't got time to wash those things by hand. So, I'm going to fire up my little, I call it my eggerator, but it's just a little egg cooker. Poke a little hole in them. That's what this is. It's just a little poker. And you poke a little hole in them to let the steam escape so they don't explode. I love this thing. The eggs peel really good. I love it. Okay. And then I will just put the rest of those into the crock pot. Just like that, and I will cover them and put them on low, and I'll cook them for 6 or 8 hours. Just went off for our bread. First loaf. Oh, it's beautiful. Out it comes. There it is. Glorious. And I'm in the middle of washing the eggs, and of course we've got all these other things going on. It's always crazy town around here. I appreciate you guys coming along every time that you do. I'm gonna let you guys go there, and I'm gonna continue washing these eggs, getting them to the farm stand, and getting those stalls clean. Baking bread. I hope you guys had a great day. I'll catch you on the next one. Yours truly.